So editing wise, all the sounds, all the internal sounds and any sounds which you put in have access to these effects. This is effects for every single channel, okay? So we have 3 bands sweepable EQ. We have transient adjustment. So that means I can adjust the attack, the amount of attack. I can make it quicker, I can make it slower, and the release, the tail of the sound, I can make it shorter or longer. I can adjust the compression for each channel, each pad individually, and this is a proper compressor. We have threshold, we have attack speed, all that sort of stuff. It's not just sort of a single knob compressor. This is actually proper compression. And we have an insert effect on every single pad. So I could have different compression settings on Tom 1 and different effect settings on Tom 1 to the compression and the effect settings on Tom 3. It's completely down to you. You can go crazy here. You can just have loads of different stuff. I mean, you probably won't use it, but if you do need to use it, you've got it, which is really, really handy. What makes the Pro and the Pro X different from everything else on the market, as I mentioned earlier, are the kit modifiers. These allow me to instantly change the sound of the kit in real time as I'm playing if necessary. And there's the 3 kit modifiers. So we've got the ambience modifier, which turns up the ambience channels from the original recordings. Compression, which is a blanket compression over the whole kit. So a little bit just gels everything together, makes it a little bit more attacky, a bit more smacky, a bit more impact, a bit more aggressive. And then we have the effect modifier, which turns up or down 3 effects processors independently. So I have effects processor 1, effects processor 2, and a master effects, and I can have different things routed to different effects. I could have a phaser on effects processor 1, and I could have just the tom going to it, just tom 1. I could have tom 3 going to effect processor 2, for instance, and I can just control the overall level with that one effect modifier knob. So to give you an idea about how powerful the modifiers are, I have a kit here. I'm going to just turn down everything so there is no effects on this at all. And now if I play the kit, it doesn't sound particularly interesting. It sounds like a load of drums and cymbal samples, but that's about it. Not particularly exciting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the ambience, going to give it some space to be in. I'm going to turn up the compression to probably just under halfway, and I'm going to turn up the effects to about 3/4. And I can just instantly see what the effects are by pressing the 3rd button under the screen. So I can see that we've got effect processor 2 is gated reverb. The master effect is presence, which is a high-end boost. And effect processor 1 is a tempo delay, an 8th note tempo delay. So now, if I've turned up those 3 modifiers, the kit now sounds like this. You can load up to 1,000 of your own samples into both the Pro module and the Pro X module. And these can be anything, as I mentioned earlier. Memory-wise, these modules don't have a massive memory, and there's a reason for this. So the Pro has 32 meg, okay, not gig, meg, which is 6 minutes 20 seconds. And the Pro X has 256 meg, so that's 1/4 of a gig, which is 25 minutes 22 seconds. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but there is a reason for this, and this reason is how these modules deal with tracks. Okay, so when talking to lots of drummers and looking at their kits and their modules and how they use them, Yamaha found out that most people who've got a vast memory in their modules don't fill it with drum sounds. They fill it with backing tracks and tracks they want to play to and everything else like that. So they don't fill it with 20,000 snare drum hits and 50,000 bass drum hits and stuff like that. That just doesn't happen because there's no need. These modules work in a different way to other modules, and you don't have to load these full of tracks because tracks are treated in a different way to other modules, which we'll come back to in a second. So you can fill the 32 meg and the 256 meg just with drum sounds. But you're not limited just to that because you can just save everything, back everything up to a USB drive and start again. So you can have a massive library of samples and kits and everything else on your computer, and you can just load the ones in that you want at that time.